of the Birds of the Round Table. I am your host, Ryan, and with me is David for another edition of the Reese and Niece show of the Birds of the Round Table. Shane, unfortunately, could not join us. Got some family, commitments this week, which understandably many of us do, but we're going to talk about the Commanders game, talk a little bit about the Bills game, and then we'll get you out of here and we'll all have a happy holidays. Before we do, David, how the heck are you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. Looking forward to talking about this game. It offered some challenges, like we'll get into it, but it offered some challenges and some kind of work that to do before the playoffs. I think it kind of gave the Eagles, some challenges in certain ways that will benefit them long run.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. If you're joining us, please make sure you like, follow, share, comment for sure. That's always big as we love to hear from you guys and your thoughts on this Eagles victory over the Commanders, the first of two games in 3 weeks. This one was down at the awful, awful Commander Stadium. Um, I have been there a few times and never wish to go back. David, what's just without getting into offense, defense, whatever? What's the main thing I think that you take out of this game, this victory over the Commanders from the Eagles' perspective?
I mean, I guess for starters, they began the game chasing history. They ended it by making it by becoming the first NFC East champion in back-to-back years and back-to-back 21 years. Is that what it is? I believe.
Since 2004, yeah.
Yeah. So that has relevance. It doesn't mean much as far as their goal of winning a Super Bowl, but it does show that that they came back despite all of the struggles they had this year.
Yeah.
Everybody's killed them all season long, and yet they're still top dog in the division, which is good. And I think another thing you can take away, which the stat blew me away when I saw it, was they fumbled the opening kickoff, Will Shipley,
Yeah.
which just put them behind the eight ball immediately. And I believe it said it was only their ninth takeaway of the season, which was just insane to me. Like, I mean, ninth turnover for Philly, which is just crazy. I mean, I can't even believe that. I mean, so
Wow.
starting off the game in that manner, I think, never ideal, but if you're going to have to overcome something like that, this was the opponent to do it with, somebody who they could, kind of scheme to get back into the game with. And it did set them back. And they did kind of, at first, play a little hesitant, in my opinion. They were being a little safe. And then, obviously the wheels came off for Washington there. But
Sure.
yeah, I think my biggest takeaway is just how they overcome adversity, quite honestly. I think that
Yeah.
was you know, a big hurdle to overcome to start the game because a bad team doesn't overcome it that easily.
Yeah. No, agreed. And I like the point of the Eagles have definitely dealt with quite a bit this year. On multiple levels, multiple, punches being thrown at them. And it hasn't looked pretty, but they're here. They're division champs. They're going back to the playoffs once again. I don't know. I don't believe do they technically have a shot at the one seed?
I don't think the one.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think, what is it? Seattle's like 11-4. So like, I don't know. We'd basically have to win out. They'd have to lose out. Then
Even two is hard, really,
yeah,
but
well, two base. Well, I don't know. The Bears do
lose
play
twice.
they play what, the Lions and then the Niners, I think. Something
Niners,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
they have
so
to
they have
lose
a tough
both.
schedule. Yeah, but either way, we have one real opponent left in this season in the Buffalo Bills. Um, and listen, a couple of games ago we were sky is falling and the offense is done and listen, you can only play the opponents that are in front of you. And two, when you're in a hole, you gotta take small steps to get out of that hole. And that's essentially what they did with the Raiders and essentially what they did with the Commanders. They're taking tiny steps and they're looking these last 3 weeks, honestly, because the Chargers, there were a few things offensively that I thought, was good and something to build on. They continued it in the Raiders. They're continuing it with the Commanders game. Um, but yeah, it's the first half wasn't pretty, but man, they just kind of turned it on in the second half, and they looked legit. They looked scary. They looked like a team that they get hot at the right time. They have the experience. They know what it takes. This could be kind of a sneaky, hey, everybody kind of wrote them off, but listen, watch out kind of thing. So, um, getting into the specifics, we'll stick with kind of the offensive here. Um, what's one main takeaway offensively from the Commanders game? That you want to point out, or maybe there might be a few, but
Yeah, like they opened the offense under center again, which they've done the last couple of weeks. Brown and Smith got a lot of targets. In fact, Brown had more targets in, I believe, the first quarter than he did in any other quarter in his entire career. And
wow,
so they were really trying to funnel him the ball. And the first couple drives it didn't work, but the second time, I mean, they were methodical on that second, third drive.
yeah, I think it was the second drive where they scored the touchdown. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was like, and if not for a penalty, it took one of the touchdowns back. I mean, it was basically four plays
yeah,
of 15, 15, 15, boom, end zone. He connected with Goddard, I guess, on the 15-yard touchdown, which tied a record for him. I think that was his 10th
10th.
of the season.
Yeah, and by the way, uh, what a beautiful play.
Oh yeah,
Everything about it. I mean, it was. I know the weight of the play certainly isn't similar, but it was very reminiscent of the catch. Where he threw it the only spot where it could have been caught, and
yeah,
Goddard is amazing at high pointing and just getting finger on it. He's catching it.
yeah.
Uh,
It was one of the best
Beautiful.
throws, definitely of the season. It could be top five throw of his career. I mean, it was that impressive.
Yeah.
But that drive, he hit Devontae for 17. Then another aspect that's been missing was a Jalen Hurts run to
Mm,
pick up another first down, 12 yards, then a 15-yard pass to A.J. Brown. So it was three plays, three first downs, capped off by a 5-yard touchdown pass to Smitty. And, they ended the quarter with the lead 7-3. It was, just one of those games where you can start to see the offensive line, even when they were struggling. I loved watching Saquon go over there and try to hype all of them up to keep this going. Like I don't know what her name is, Brittany or something like that, Thick and Fit or something, whatever. She recorded it and posted it
oh,
on X. It's like gone crazy on there. Like a whole bunch of people, Devin, whatever, Devin something has reposted it as well.
Evan Caney.
Um, yeah, and it just basically showed Hertz over there just trying, rallying the troops, and they just never gave up. And I think we also saw that Saquon hasn't lost anything.
No.
Like on a couple interior plays, Jurgens just got smoked, and Saquon still got by. But
Yeah.
I think you're starting to see the running game work because of the design runs and the willingness of Hertz to scramble a little bit more. The only downfall that I've noticed is the tush push. It really isn't working, and it probably is not going to because of the injuries. I mean,
Yeah.
Jurgen's neck, and I know Shane kind of touched on this last week. The injuries that Dickerson and Cam are going through, they could be long-term type of problems. Not enough where they can't play football, but they might not be as dominant as they once were. I mean, they're very hindering issues. But when you're dealing with a neck problem and knee problems, I mean,
Back,
it's
back
it's yeah,
problems for
it's not
Cam.
good.
Yeah.
It
No.
it's pretty problematic, and I don't know that they're going to be able to do that. So, and I just like the way they were a team again. And again, it's not that they beat a bad opponent. It's what they're doing to integrate the new plays into the offense, in my opinion. It's completely revamped, and it's not like 50% of the plays. That's not what it is. It's just,
Right.
in the moments that matter, they're executing well and they're calling the right thing. And that hasn't happened all season. So aside from Jake Elliott, I like the offense a lot.
Yeah, well, we'll get into Jake Elliott in a little bit because it is something that definitely needs discussion. But Yeah, no, you're right. It was such a again, I think the first half was just kind of figuring some things out. Obviously, if you make those two field goals, you feel certainly a little different about about
Yeah.
that offense. But yeah, that drive was beautiful. I mean, you had the 16. You start with a 16-yard pass to Smitty, 14-yard run for Hurts, and then another 15-yard pass to AJ, and then another one to AJ, and yeah, it just was kind of a very beautiful drive that ended with the Devontae Smith touchdown. So, but
And they
yeah,
ended the half on a good 2 minute drive. They got
yeah,
all the way down to the 39, but Elliott
yeah,
missed back to back field goals.
yeah, and
But
they
they
take
were
it back
moving the
away.
ball. It was
Yes,
optimistic because they had, I don't know, 60 more total yards at halftime or something. I mean,
yeah.
they were outplaying them, but
Yeah, no, and the fact of the matter is they were doing it multiple ways.
right.
Usually when the offense is doing all right, it's usually, oh well, this is clearly just a passing game, and blah blah blah, or maybe that finally we get a little bit of run game going. Now this was everything. I mean, Saquon was running nicely. The receivers were catching balls. Hurts was throwing them. Hurts was running. It was finally a mixture of everything that this team can do and can do well. And yeah, listen, you got to convert those, drives into touchdowns. But again, I think that's less important now to kind of focus on that. Um, but yeah, I thought offensively, again, this is another, game that, you basically scored 30 points. If you count even one of those field goals. But that's an average of 30 over the last two games, and that's steps, taking those incremental steps. And now not that Buffalo certainly has a monster defense, but again, it's a little bit better than the Commanders defensively wise. Now, unfortunately, the only problem is Josh Allen and that offense certainly can punch back. So that's going to be a different aspect that we haven't had to deal with the last 2 weeks. But speaking of defensively, um, let's talk about the defense here. Um, we're once again doing it without Jalen Carter. It's funny. These last couple of games, you're not doing it with your best defensive and your best offensive player, Lane Johnson being out, and so you don't have Carter. You lose Nakobe Dean right away, and I think they kept him out for more of a precautionary
Yeah.
factor. Everything I've read, himself talking says
He was
everything.
walking normal after the end of
Yeah,
the game,
exactly.
too.
It
He's
looked it
good.
looked fine.
Yeah.
But so Campbell comes in, takes him a few plays to kind of acclimate himself because, to be honest, he hasn't really been playing that much. But I thought he played really well. I thought the D backs played exceptionally well, and again, I thought our front four got a good push. I think Jordan Davis is just absolutely blossoming into a stud before our eyes. I read something that he has there's only one, so he's second. There's one more player, Leonard Williams, who has more
Defensive
negative
stops.
play. Yeah, stops as
Yeah.
they call it, are negative plays. And it's only by one, and he's played one more game. So realistically, he's running at such a high level. And he's been so important with Jalen Carter being out. Um, and the fact that you're potentially going to be getting him back this week, because if you think about it, Lane and Jalen potentially are ready to come back. Week 18 might be a rest game. So if you're going to want to get these guys something, this is the only chance you have. But before we get into specifics on the defense, what's your opinion on? Say they're both ready. Say say we know we're not going to play anything for Week 18. Are you playing them? Do you sit them? Do you give them more rest? What are you doing?
If they can't play versus the Bills,
No, if they can play, do you play them?
if the field is all right, like they're expecting snow showers and stuff, I'm not risking them in inclement weather. Like I know a lot of people probably not, they would disagree with that, but I'm not putting two guys who are having problems on the field in that type of weather when it's, more than likely they're going to be the 3 seed, in my opinion.
Right.
And they're two guys who, quite honestly, probably don't need very many reps to just come back in and start dominating. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
would be leery of doing it if it's bad weather. Now, if it's all fine, yeah, I'm playing them at least a half. I'm getting, I'm going to try to get something under their legs again, get them moving, getting them, used to football hits and
Yeah.
whatever. But again, of one person on the defense and one on the offense, if you ask me who didn't need it, it would be them. So I'm
Yeah.
not that
Well,
concerned.
that's kind of my thought is like, you know, Lane don't need it. Lane's been in this league for way too long. He's dealt with injuries and he comes back and he's just the same dude.
Yeah,
Jalen Carter again. If I had to pick one, it'd be him, just because he's
he's
had
done
a
it.
yeah he's certainly done it too.
Yeah,
But I think if conditioning wise, I think it would be better to get him a
I'd
little
agree.
rep.
If you had to pick
Yeah.
one or the
If I
other,
had to pick one, right? Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So,
it's him, no
uh,
doubt.
real quick before we get into some defense, JH checking in. Do you think we play the Niners in round one? Right now, theoretically, we are the 3 seed. They are the 6 seed. We would play them, but I don't know. I mean, the West is up for grabs. I mean, you have the Niners, the Rams, and the Seahawks all within like
A
after
game,
tonight. It'll be a game of each other,
yeah.
and they all play. They all play each other pretty much. So it could be anything, honestly. And who knows? Maybe the Packers can sneak in and steal, the sixth spot. So yeah, it's going to be a weird, wild finish, especially in
Because
that.
their tie could come into play there.
Well, right, exactly. There's doesn't matter that we beat them because they have that stupid tie. So, um, yeah, the Niners would get the 1 seed if they win out, which they very well could. They start tonight with the Colts, and then I think they play the Bears.
I think you're right. Yeah,
They have a tough schedule, I think, either way.
they do. They have 3 games that
Yeah,
are,
Colts, Bears, and Seahawks.
yeah,
So,
they have 3 tough ones.
yeah. So, if they do win all three, they definitely would deserve it.
Purely
Um,
on history, I would rather see the 49ers than Seattle. I think
yep.
we're 1-10 in our last
Yeah.
11 matchups
Be
versus the
100%.
Seahawks. Yeah, and I know it's a year-to-year thing, but there's something to that, especially traveling 2,700 miles to the Pacific Northwest. It's not a great trip.
Yeah. Now, granted, they would be here, but
In round one, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, I don't want to
But
play them
yeah,
in,
but yes, I get what you're saying.
yeah,
Believe me, I
championship
agree.
game. I hope they're bumped.
Personally, yes. If I had to choose one out of those three West teams, I'm choosing the Niners.
Yeah, agreed.
So, yeah, Colts, Bears, and Seattle. Thank you, Brandon. All right, so let's get to this defense. Let's talk about it. What's a takeaway or two that you have from this defense?
I mean, they were basically lights out. They gave up the 40-yard play to McLaurin,
Yeah.
and that was pretty much the Washington offense. I mean, that was pretty much what it was. We went into the game discussing the mobility of Marcus Mariota. He had 1 carry for -1 yards, and then he left hurt. So it was a non-factor. I was hoping they'd get a little bit more work, seeing a mobile quarterback, but
Yeah.
they'll see him again in 2 weeks, I guess, if they need to.
Yeah, right.
It appears from the tough talking of Dan Quinn that he's going to try to exact revenge on the Eagles for going for 2 points. He said, "We'll see you again in 2 weeks." You might see the backups, brother, but yeah,
Yeah, right. Like,
yeah.
and I get it. Like, listen, what are you gonna say? But like, come on.
They were doing it because of analytics, not to
Right,
pile
yeah,
on.
exactly.
But yeah, what was it, 29-18? They were making it so a field goal and a touchdown couldn't beat you. They were forcing you to have to get a 2-point conversion or 2 touchdowns. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Well,
But
yeah, and that's the thing. I was like, at
just
first I was
silly.
confused, and then I was like, oh, well, wait a minute, that does make sense. It's
And their kicker just missed 3 kicks.
Well, right, yeah. Well, that was definitely going through my head, but I was like, nah, he's pretty good with the extra points. But yeah, two touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions, and
Right.
then a
Yeah. I
field goal.
mean,
You're still at least tied. So like, whatever, who cares?
yeah,
Like,
he was crazy. But
yeah,
yeah, in general, the defense, I mean, they swarmed, they tackled, they closed space the way champion defenses do in late December and January and now February. Washington never found a rhythm. Pressure came from everywhere. The coverage was good. The Commanders, were just searching for answers all night long. They were inconsistent, at times undisciplined, like at the fight. And then you mentioned Jordan Davis. I posted during the game. He's been so dominant that most people haven't even realized Jalen Carter's not out there. Like, he has completely played the role that well, and he just had another dominating performance that night. He's been a game wrecker and, more importantly, a stabilizing force. And if the Eagles are to, make another challenge for another Lombardi, it's going to be the defense that, carries them more than likely. If the offense can just score 24 points a week, probably they're going to win. I mean,
yeah,
and one thing I didn't touch on with the offense was the explosive plays from Saquon slowly coming back. He
yeah,
broke off a 48 yarder in this
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Tank had a 20+ yard burst. I mean, you're starting to see a little bit of this explosiveness again.
Exactly. And that's what I'm talking about. Is that that's what could be scary about this team is this team has kind of been laughed at, and the offense is this and yada yada yada, and well, listen, maybe maybe they were just kind of slow playing, just
Yeah,
like
and
saying, you know what, let's not give them our A game, let's give them our B game, and well, we should still win enough games and get into the playoffs, and then let's turn it on, and we'll all be a lot more rested about for it.
yeah,
I don't know.
and
I highly doubt that, but like that's it just seems like
I mean,
great
I kind
timing
of do
to
think Jalen Hurts was trying to preserve himself. I actually believe that he was trying to avoid hits throughout the season and stuff. And if they were winning games, everybody was complaining, you're running this many hitch routes, you're doing this, you're doing that. But if they're still winning games, he could care less. I
well,
mean,
sure, right.
he's not taking hits, and they're still getting W's. So it's frustrating for everyone else, but he could care less. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he obviously doesn't give two craps about what the
no,
media says or what this person or that person or
no,
local, national, doesn't matter. He does, and that's one thing I gotta say I absolutely love
I do
about
too.
Jalen Hurts. It's he just cares about winning. He
And
doesn't
look
care
around the
about
league.
anything else.
Mahomes out with the ACL, Minshew out with the ACL, Daniel Jones out. I mean, he's not wrong either. I
Yeah,
mean, if you think the Eagles, I know a lot of people want to see Tanner McKee, but if you think they're winning the Super Bowl with them, you better pray for another Nick Foles style run, brother, because that's about the only way that's
yeah,
going to happen.
exactly.
But
I'm pretty sure we used up that prayer a couple of years ago. So
could you imagine a Tanner and Nick statue out front? But anyway, that would be pretty crazy. But back to the defense, Adoree Jackson. I thought he looked, pretty good. He's been
yeah,
stabilizing.
he has been exactly more than enough of
Yeah.
what
I
we've been
mean,
hoping the entire year. And he's finally found that groove where, again, he's not going to kill you. He is going to make plays and he's able to handle it all right now. I think he's been one of the most important parts of
yep.
stabilizing this defense.
But look what happened when he left. Keely Ringo came in, promptly gave up a pass interference to the 1 yard line. I mean,
Oh,
Ringo's
can
struggling, man.
yeah,
And if that was our answer,
can I just say R.I.P. to
yeah,
Keely?
they'd have been in big trouble.
I was rooting for you, kid. I
Yeah.
really wanted you to be the CB2 here, but um,
And yeah. And a small shout out to Cooper DeJean for the interception. Um, it comes out that he's allegedly dating Nikki Bella, and then he celebrates with the John Cena
right?
belly.
I saw it. I was
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
I don't know much about Cooper and his defensive abilities, but that took some balls, man. So, he said it's been planned all year. Yeah.
Right, sure.
But whatever. But yeah, hopefully it was, man. But
Yeah, no,
she was there rocking on all her socials the 33 jersey.
yeah,
She was in the locker room. Let me rephrase that. She was actually in his locker last
yeah.
week
Oh yeah.
at the thing. So yeah, I don't know. I
And
found that
she
interesting
was
though.
there during training camp.
Yep.
1 week, and yeah, so yeah,
But
geez,
when he did the wrestling, I was like, I wonder if that's Cena. And then he got in front, and yeah, he's
yeah, like, yeah, sure as hell was. I
yeah,
thought the same
kind
thing. I
of
was
fun.
like, yeah, because I don't know it either. So I
Hopefully, you
had
don't bump
somebody.
into John. But yeah, I liked it.
Well, right. He still seems like a nice enough guy to, whatever. But JH has another question here. Could the Eagles get the number one seed if some NFC West teams tie? Yeah, listen, I think, well, because what the first tiebreaker is if you've played head to head, right? Easy one.
Yeah,
The next one, is it common opponents or is it conference
I
record?
think it's conference.
Okay, so then we have a better conference record
But
than
Seattle would have to lose both because they've already got 12, right?
yes. They would have to lose out. We would have to win out. We would then have a better conference record with them. But then that
Yeah,
means that because they would lose out, that means San Fran would then have 11, so they'd have to at least win one more game.
right.
Uh,
It's a lot, but
Rams, we definitely have a better record than conference
yeah.
guys, but we also beat them, so
I,
whatever.
I guess to answer his question, it's mathematically
Mathematically,
possible.
yes. Yeah.
But
Technically, yes, but it's you need that one guy
yeah,
who
not
comes out
probable.
every year on like NFL Live and does all of the different crazy scenarios. Be like, they clinched the one seed if they win, and then this team loses, and that team loses, and this team wins or ties, and blah 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 blah. Like we need that guy to just we need to unfreeze him
Yeah,
and get him
the
to come out and give us a scenario
this
breakdown.
is just from Google, so take it as you will. Eagles would have to win out.
Yep,
Seahawks would have to lose their remaining two games.
yep,
Bears would have to lose their remaining two games. Rams would have to lose one,
yep.
and 49ers would have to lose two of three. So
Okay, I mean,
possible, yes,
possible, sure.
but
Yeah, I mean that all
probable,
does
no.
fit. That all does fit about right. So yeah, theoretically. Listen, I gotta tell you though, not that I'm not rooting for it, but I don't know if my wallet can handle it this year. Last year was a rough go, having three home games. This time, obviously, it would only be two, so we'll take that.
If there were three, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, last year's three home games was unforeseen and very expensive.
Thanks to the Washington Commanders for beating the Lions. That's
Yeah,
how that happened.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was. That wasn't probable either. It was also expensive, but
Yeah, very much so. So
yeah,
yeah, we'll see. We'll obviously have a much better idea, come after next week because then it's just one game, and everybody kind of knows what's what. Who knows? Maybe Indianapolis can upset the Niners tonight, and that's part one of the puzzle. But anyway, so let's talk about Jake. Um, we jokingly back when we used to do our over and unders, we used to jokingly Dives would put how many missed field goals would Jake Elliott kick this week. And listen, that was kind of in the middle of the season, and he figured it out and turned himself around towards the end. Right, was great in the playoffs. I think he missed what one kick in the playoffs.
10 of 11. Yep.
Yeah, so did what he needed to do when he needed to do it. But now Jake hasn't been great all year. But now, I mean, come on, missing those three, two I know technically, but theoretically it was three field goals missing, and he just doesn't look the same. And it's happening a lot later in the season than kind of his last year's struggles were. And I don't
Yeah.
know, again, it's kickers, so I get it. Unfortunately, sometimes kickers are just riding high, and then just fall off the cliff.
Yeah.
I
To
hope
to
that's not the case, but
to quote him, a lot of that is due to mental reasons. Like it's problems, just mentally processing things. But he said this isn't mental. This is technique or process driven, which is far harder to figure out. I mean, he's going to be watching tape of the process of the strike point on the ball, of, the snap,
Yeah,
the hold. He
sure.
doesn't know what's wrong, but he is confident it's not in his head. It's something to do physically. It's either the technique, strike point, or the process, because he has gone through two long snappers this season,
Yeah,
and
true.
it has, he had the same guy. Like, a lot of people forget that he had the same guy for, since 2017.
Yeah,
um and this is new, and that is something that the Eagles normally were very great about doing. Like, before that, it was what, Dornbos for like
oh,
seven,
right.
eight
Yeah,
years.
exactly.
I mean, they've had longevity at that position forever. And the reason we've never mentioned a long snapper in 15 years is because they've been perfect for 15 years, like, literally.
Yeah,
Like, so it's been something that was kind of overlooked, and he really struggled with the backup long snapper, but since, I don't even know who the guy's last name is now. Howley, I don't even know.
Hewlett, Charlie
Yeah,
Hewlett.
sounds good. He's just coming back, and maybe it's just a procedural thing. Maybe, just something to do with the timing is off. But
Well,
yeah, he
where the hell is Rick Lovato?
right. Yeah, he needs to come back too.
Right. I mean,
I mean,
I'm down. I'm down to figuring out.
yeah, the same. What was it? Four: Brandon, Rick, Lane, and Jake. Yeah, same four could get a third ring. Come on back,
Yeah.
brother.
Come
But
on, yeah, like unretire, dude. We need you.
yeah,
Uh,
but
right now it's what Cal Adominus.
I
That's who
think
I
I
guess
think
is
Hewlett's
undefeated.
back.
Is he back?
Yeah, I think he's back. But
Oh,
again, he just came back, and I think, the process has just been just kind of wonky for some weeks. So hopefully it's that, and they can just get a lot of reps in together and kind of fix this thing. I wouldn't expect him to start being somebody who's going to start nailing them from over 50, because he struggled with that basically for two whole seasons. In
yeah.
fact, the one in the postseason he missed last year was over 50 as well.
Yep. Yep.
It's unfortunate that in an era where all of a sudden people are hitting 60 with consistency, that we don't have one who can hit 50.
Great.
But, you know, that's what we're dealing with. But
Yeah.
I do believe that, they're going to have to get reps to kind of correct that, because he doesn't think it's in his head. And, he got a little vote of confidence today with Nick saying they are not looking at all at other kickers, because after the Commanders game in the locker room, he was pretty defeated, saying, "Hey, if they're going to go looking, I get it. This is a, you
Yeah.
know, business that's based off of production, and I'm not producing." So,
Yeah.
I think he kind of thought it was coming. So, that he was going to have some competition, but they gave him a little vote of confidence, which hopefully it goes a long way. And again,
Yeah.
they're just going to have to put in the reps, man.
Yeah. So what do you think is kind of maybe more scary is the fact that like if it was a mental thing, or if hearing that it's more of a physical thing. What's worse, I guess.
Physical.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
kind of because I feel like the mental
He
thing.
thinks it's worse too. He said, if this was in my head, I could fix it easier.
Yeah.
So that's all you need to hear. If he thinks it's worse,
Yeah.
nah, it's worse.
Yeah. Well, listen.
But again, he lost the continuity. I mean, there are
Yeah, and I
reasons.
get that.
Nobody wants to hear it, but
No, you're
there's
right.
truth to it. Just like the O line all year, everybody's complained and bitched and fussed, but
Yeah.
there is truth to the fact that people are hurt. That they're playing with two different linemen basically than they did last year, the whole season this year.
Yeah.
Steen has been new. Fred Johnson's in and out for Lane. You
Or
have Dickerson in and out. I mean,
yeah.
Toth has been in. Mailata has struggled without a stout Dickerson beside him. I
Mhm.
mean, nobody likes to say that either, but Mailata's had a really hard go of it this season. It's
Yeah.
been the most I've seen him struggle.
Yeah. No, easily. Phil checking in. Our good buddy Phil Stifle. Check him out here on the Eagles Pinball Network. Better off keeping a proven champ and Jake Elliott out there than the unknown kicker off the street.
Agreed.
Hey, listen, Justin Tucker is available. Just saying.
Yeah,
If you can get past his wandering hands.
yeah, pure karma alone, I'm staying away.
That's funny. Well, hopefully Jake is just in the lab, just watching film and going it over with the special teams coordinator and
And the
trying to figure out.
memes.
Yeah.
The new nickname in the memes, I liked Jake the Make a lot. Missy Elliott with him doing the dances, and yeah, it's not fun,
Yeah,
man.
that's not fun at all. So hopefully,
Somebody said he's too old, and I looked him up. I was like, "How old is Jake?" Yeah, he just turned 30. Yeah, I don't think I don't think he's too old.
no, no,
Kickers
but
can sometimes go to mid 40s.
I mean, we've definitely. I mean, it's rarer now, but like I felt like back in the day, how many of the Anderson kickers
Right,
were like
Gary
45
Morton.
years old? Morton and
Right.
Gary, and they were like 45 years old, just kicking,
Yeah.
kicking away. They didn't care. But yeah, no. Uh, Brandon does have a point here. Jake Elliott was the unknown kicker off the street at one point. He
In
sure was.
17. Yeah.
Well,
And
hopefully
and
there's
so
enough
was Dicker,
time.
kind of, and they got rid of him, who's been just a stud over there for the Chargers, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So,
Who knew?
um, hopefully,
Eagles scouting department with kickers, bro.
yeah, apparently pretty good. So, hopefully, he has enough time to kind of figure it out because we're definitely going to need him if we're going to be going on a playoff run. That is for sure. So, all right, let's quickly go over the Buffalo game for this Sunday. Buffalo coming in. They are what currently 11-4. They just beat the Browns, but they struggled to beat the Browns. They did beat the Patriots finally. They're on a nice 4-game win streak after beating the Steelers, Bengals, Browns, and or Patriots and Browns. Um, but their defense has certainly been giving up some points. So certainly something that hopefully the Eagles can take advantage of. Speaking of that Eagles offense, David, what is one matchup offensively that you were looking forward for this game? Eagles offense versus Buffalo defense.
Yeah, I normally always say the running game, but I'll just go with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. The As you mentioned, the Bills defense struggles a little bit there in the pass defense. I think it's something they can exploit. Again, I think the weather could play a large role in that. So take that for what it will. I think the Bills mirror the Eagles in a lot of ways, just kind of oppositely. Like
Sure.
they've played sloppy at times, like narrowly beating the Browns, and just they haven't been playing their best football, all consistently all season. A lot of their problems are opposite, are more defensively, where the Eagles have struggled offensively for much of the season. But they're two teams who kind of played down to their competition, kind of struggled, kind of meandered around. The
Yeah.
Bills have, a lot of incentive in this game because they still have a chance to be the number one seed in their division. I think they're one game behind the Patriots for the
Yep.
division and the one seed. So, it's a game that probably means more to Buffalo than it does Philadelphia, which is certainly not, to say that the
Probably.
Eagles aren't putting their best foot forward. But, we earlier mentioned, would we put Lane and Jalen in a game that's having snow showers and all? Me personally, I'm not, because it's not as important. If I'm the Bills and I'm can win out and get the one seed, damn right I'm sticking in Lane and Jalen Carr.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
the likelihood the Eagles getting it's a little slim. But until it's zero, you got to try.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I that's the matchup I'm looking forward to see. I think they've been integrating some, pretty unique things lately. I think Scott Loeffler, like I joked last week about him calling plays. That was a joke. He's definitely not, calling plays, but I think that you're starting to see a lot of the, aspects of the offense that he had in Bowling Green starting to pop up in Philadelphia.
Oh,
The seam
absolutely.
route, which everybody saw how excited Jalen was if you watched the Hard Knocks about that play. It's not just window dressing anymore. Receivers are pressing vertically, trying to, get the linebackers to either retreat into coverage assignments, and I think you're seeing some of his influence also in the way that Dallas Goedert has thrived this season. I mean, he was the architect of making Harold Fannin Jr. become the greatest recipient of his philosophy last season in Bowling Green. And I think
Sure
you're
was.
seeing, Dallas, benefit from it. So
Yeah.
a term you
Absolutely.
hear a lot is, marrying the defense and the offense or marrying the run game and the pass game. Well, Scott likes to like married the seam routes and vertical concepts together. I'm very familiar with him because he was the OC at Virginia Tech for a few years,
Oh yeah,
all the
yeah,
way back in 13. I've spoke with him before. I've talked to him about a lot of this stuff. I'm very familiar with what he does, and I do think he's had an offense. I mean, say in this offense lately, I think you're starting to see little nuggets of his, philosophy. I think it was things that took a long time to teach in the QB room. It's not something you can do overnight. I don't think it's something they did 3 weeks ago and said, put all
yeah.
your stuff in.
Right.
It's just stuff that just took a long time, like the
Yeah.
play action, the under center. Jalen, never did that a lot. So, it's something that they integrated slowly. And the importance of hitting the check down, it's becoming a little more second nature to Jalen, but I think it was just a slow burning integration of his influence from QB coach to QB. But I think you're starting to see the benefits now, and I really like the direction and that's going, and I'm curious to see them keep building on it.
Yeah, no, agreed. You can definitely, you said it perfectly. You can kind of see little nuggets here, little play here, play there. That definitely is very Bowling Green-ish. And you're right. My boy, Hair Fanning, by the way, dominating just like I knew he would. Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, it's I think it coincides with Nick taking a more active approach on this offense 3 weeks ago. And perhaps that includes kind of maybe bringing him in more of like, hey, listen, like now let's start trying some of these things.
Right.
Again, it's not like they just came up with them. It's
Right. Yeah, they practiced them when we were at
they,
camp.
well, that
It,
that right, exactly.
it
So
just,
they've been learning it. They just
yeah,
have not been using it.
right.
And now I think with Nick kind of helping out the offense, I think now they're trying to maybe add in some of his influence into that offense. And for again, it's been working. So um I think that is the beauty of this offense is that you have an ability. You have the talent, obviously, but you have the ability to really open this thing up um, by kind of utilizing these players at their best, abilities and ways. So I think this is all heading in the right direction, which is obviously what you want. Um, you know, couple of games to go before the playoffs. You're starting to hum. That's the way to do it. So. Um, all right, switch over to the defense. Eagles defense versus the Bills offense. What's one thing you're looking at, David, for this game?
Just the defensive line and the linebackers staying disciplined to contain Josh Allen. We've beat it for years how difficult the Eagles have had a time trying to cover mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And they're going to have, 3 weeks of them with Mariota and then Josh and then Mariota probably again. I
Mhm.
do think, like we mentioned last week, it is good practice going into the playoffs that they're going to see a couple of mobile guys,
Sure.
if they win a few games here. So, he's a dual threat. He has a high ceiling to disrupt plays. I don't know if you have to spy them, but they might. They have the personnel in which they can do that. And they have the defensive backs that they feel comfortable enough putting on an island at times to do that as well. I don't think there's a receiver Buffalo has that necessarily scares you. So you can, probably play a, extra guy in the box more frequently, especially if it's inclement weather. But yeah, I think that's the matchup is, just the defensive tackles still playing the way they have, containing Josh Allen, not necessarily, doing blitzes or trying to sack him off the edge, but just keep him in the pocket and don't allow him to step up.
Yeah. No, agreed. I think I'm going to be, focusing more on the run game.
Yeah, Cook is
Just
Cook is good.
Cook has been absolutely amazing this year,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, I feel like if when the Bills' offense is really going, they're able to utilize Cook, and certainly. Excuse me. Ooh, sorry, couldn't hit the mute button quick enough. Uh, but no, when their offense is cooking, not to use that as a pun, it's when James Cook is actively involved, getting his carries, getting his targets in the pass game. It really does seem to kind of open up, for these other receivers, which again they have an old Brandon Cooks, they have Josh Palmer, Khalil Shakir is certainly all right. Their young player Keon Coleman is pretty much a healthy scratch at this point. And then you got to worry about their dual threat of tight ends. Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, can certainly help you up the middle. But I feel like uh, we have the defenders to kind of match up really well against, the middle of the field, slot, whether it be slot, whether it be tight end.
Isn't
Uh,
that nice to say we have the linebackers to defend these things? No?
I was gonna say whether it's slot corners, whether it's linebackers, we absolutely do.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, again, I if I ever get to meet any one of the linebackers, now granted I theoretically met Campbell preseason, but if I ever do, I'm just gonna thank a little bit like thank
Yeah.
you for finally being the linebacker that this city has been begging for decades. It's just it brings a tear to my eye how beautiful it is. So and anybody who knows me, who watches this show or watches any show that I've ever been on for the past, however long I've been doing this, 17 years, I've been crying for linebackers, and we finally have them. So anyway, why don't we wrap this thing up? Um, David, give me your score prediction. Give me an MVP for this upcoming Buffalo Bills matchup.
Yeah, the inclement weather going to Buffalo, which is a really hard place to win. I was very close to going with Buffalo, but I just can't do it. I just think the Eagles are too resilient. I think they're playing really good football right now. And I think that they're, not done in any way, shape, or form and not satisfied with the 3 seed. If they have an outside chance to move to 2 or 1, they're going to go for it.
Yeah,
So I do think it's going to be a close game. I don't see a blowout. I think it's extremely one of those competitive, edge of your seat matchups. And I went with the Eagles 24, Bills 23, which you couldn't get
oh,
it any closer.
that is.
And my player of the game, who I think is going to have a really big impact, especially if Jalen Carter doesn't play, is our buddy Jordan Davis again. I think it's going to have to come down to him just having taken over the interior of this offensive line from Buffalo, and I'm looking forward to the matchup. I like the challenge. It's actually the team who I preseason picked the Eagles to be playing in San Francisco or San Jose, wherever the hell their stadium is out there.
Santa Clara.
Um, Santa Clara, wherever the hell it is. Yeah, this was what I thought would be the Super Bowl this year, and still could.
Yeah,
So I'm really looking forward to it. I like the matchup against Cook and Allen, but I think it plays to the Eagles' strengths, which is the trenches.
yeah,
So I'm going to give them the edge just because of that. If they had anything on the outside, I would probably have swayed the other way. But
sure. I love
I
it.
don't see anybody getting over the top on Q. I just can't see it. And Adoree will have a little bit of help, and I just like their chances.
Yeah, well, there you go. Love it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 31-28 Eagles. Again, very close. I think this one is gonna be one of those heart attack games where we're on the edge of our seats and praying for something to get a victory. But I think they're resilient enough to go up against Buffalo in Buffalo. Hopefully the weather's not as bad. Um, if certainly it is, I'd push that score down quite a bit, but I'll keep it where it is now. And I'll say, I was going to go with an offensive player, but you kind of swayed me with the Jordan Davis talk. So I'm going to say N'Kobe Dean, my boy.
Love it.
He's going to come back from the hammy, and he is going to be in Josh Allen's face all day long. he's going to be seeing Nakobe in his sleep after that game. So. Anyway, we appreciate everybody for chiming in the chat. Thank you, Brandon, JH, Phil. Make sure you check out Phil on his show, his network, Setting the Trends, and he also does some an Eagles check down for the Eagles Pinpull Network. Make sure you're also following the Eagles Pinpull Network for all of our shows this week. Our schedule's a little jumpy all over the place due to the holidays. Obviously, my other show, Football Smack Talk Show, just we did that right before this. So depending on how you're watching or if you're listening, my apologies for the mixed up schedule. But just pop in every once in a while. You'll see your favorite shows one way or the other. So make sure you put on your notifications. That's the way I do it. So easiest way to know when we're going live, and you can pop right in when we do. So that's going to do it for us. David, what do you got going on? What do you want to tell the people before we get out of here?
You can follow everything on my X handle or at Philly Sports Network. I touched on it during this podcast, but I have a full piece up on the new wrinkles that Scott Leffler has brought to the Eagles offense throughout the season. I think it went live today around noon or something, but you can find that on my X handle, or actually I haven't even posted it. So you can find it at Philly Sports Network. I haven't even, or tomorrow morning. I think I scheduled it for tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah. And just follow everybody on here. I mean, like he said, the schedules are a little wonky this week, but if you can't watch live, everything is on every single podcast, from Spotify to Apple to whatever the heck else.
Google.
Yeah. I have no idea. Twitch. I don't know what the hell that is, but whatever whatever you can do, you can find us somewhere. YouTube, speakers, Spreaker, whatever the hell.
I used to use Spreaker back in
the day. I'm getting too old to remember all these things, but right. Just you can find us. Just
all you got to do is search Eagles Pinpull Network.
Yeah, it makes it really simple.
We'll come up somewhere, whether it be just Google us, and we'll come up. YouTube, or Facebook, Twitch, X. Either way,
and I think Shane recorded a show earlier today for those for the.
I think
him and Shane and Paige, or on the Shane Page.
Was it him and Johnny today, or was it him and Mark?
Yeah, I don't know. It's one or the other, but you'll find Shane's on there. So you missed him here, but he did record a show earlier.
Shane unfortunately, like I said, couldn't be with us today. But we want to wish everybody a wonderful holiday season, however you celebrate. Enjoy the time with family, enjoy the time with friends. And most importantly, I hope you all get a lot of Birds gear for Christmas.
Do you want to show them your new Christmas present to yourself?
No, I don't want to.
You want to save it for after Christmas?
Yeah, exactly. I'll save it when I'm actually able to wear it.
Definitely start the show next week wearing that, please.
I could. I'm gonna be like a starfish, just kind of. But anyway. I hope you guys all get great Eagles gifts for your holidays. Be safe, be happy, have some drinks, enjoy the Christmas games as well. And we will check you guys out next week at our normal times. I believe so, right?
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. That could be the
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, yeah. I don't know. Probably
that might affect my Wednesday show because that is New Year's Eve. So
yeah, we'll probably be back Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll probably be back Tuesday. But anyway, appreciate y'all. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy the Birds this weekend. And we will come and check y'all out next week for hopefully another Victory Tuesday. So for the Birds of the Round Table, I'm Ryan. That's David. We will see you guys next time. Go Birds.